as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do it. And we've won. Let me say, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over.
Well, it's quite clear that the war is not going well for the United States, and that President Trump, I think, would like to put an end to it. And the problem that he faces is he can't find an off-ramp.
Let me start with the bombing of this girls' elementary school in Iran. I start here because it shows in this one horrible incident the insanity and the destined failure of the president's strategy in Iran. You cannot bomb a nation into submission. You cannot impose regime change from the air. What will happen now that an entire nation is looking at images of America murdering little girls at an elementary school? Yes, this was a mistake, no doubt about it. Mistakes happen in war. But these inevitable mistakes are the reason why these bombing campaigns almost never, ever achieve their objectives. Because all these bombing campaigns do in the thousands of civilians that in the end they kill is to harden the nation that you are bombing and invading, causing them to take a harder line, to choose harder line leaders, more militant leadership, in order to protect the nation against the enemy invaders who bomb elementary schools.
Well, it's quite clear that the war is not going well for the United States, and that President Trump, I think, would like to put an end to it. And the problem that he faces is he can't find an off-ramp. I think nobody can tell a plausible story about how this war ends. If we had decisively defeated Iran the way we decisively defeated both Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan in World War II, then you can say the war is over with, we are the winner, and we're going to impose terms on the loser. But that's not what's happened here. They haven't won anything approximating a decisive victory. And in a very important way, the Iranians have an incentive to continue the war, to turn it into a protracted war of attrition, and they have the means to do that. So the question then is, how does President Trump get Iran to agree to settle this war? When you listen to people in the administration talk, they sometimes talk as if we're the only player in the game. Of course, the Israelis as well. But the Americans and the Israelis are in the driver's seat. We determined when the war started. We determined when it ends. We determine the conditions that the Iranians have to accept. This is the sort of view you get from inside the administration. But this is not the way the real world works. I think that Iran has prepared itself to accept massive punishment by the United States and Israel. So we can dish it out, but the Iranians are not going to throw their hands up. And in fact, what the Iranians are going to do is they're going to up the ante from their side. As we go up the escalation ladder, they'll go up the escalation ladder. If you start destroying critical infrastructure inside of Iran, they'll destroy critical infrastructure inside the Gulf states and inside of Israel. And they can do it. They have lots of ballistic missiles. They have lots of drones. Almost all of them are highly accurate. And they're operating in a target-rich environment. It's not like they can't find targets to hit. They can hit vulnerable and important economic and strategic targets with relative ease. So they have a strong hand to play. When I say they, I mean the Iranians have a strong hand to play. And they have no incentive to settle this one on America's terms.
Okay. Helen, go. I need a shot. Okay. Helen, go. I need a shot. Okay. Helen, go. I need a shot.
War on Iran. Projectiles hit 4 commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. That's, of course, the key waterway where global oil traffic has been brought to a standstill by Iran, which claimed responsibility for attacking at least 2 of those commercial ships, including a Liberian-flagged vessel and a Thai-flagged bulk carrier.
会继续打以色列，继续打中东这些国家，然后继续封锁洪姆兹海峡。请问一下，你美军能够跑吗？你美军不解决这个问题吗？
距离结束还有一段时间。哦，他一定会打以色列了。他们判断伊朗的浓缩铀有441公斤，60%的，要派特种部队，没有办法拿走就炸毁、摧毁。联防夜谈啊，根本做不到。对，以色列打了30个地方，你认为伊朗不会这样对他吗？电厂、炼油厂、海水淡化厂都会被炸，美国这样怎么退场？
当地时间11号，伊朗总统佩泽西奇扬在社交媒体上发文称，其在与俄罗斯和巴基斯坦领导人通话时，重申了伊朗维护地区和平的承诺，并提出了结束当前冲突的必要条件。
佩泽西奇扬表示，结束当前由美国和以色列挑起的冲突的唯一途径是承认伊朗的合法权利支付战争赔偿，并由国际社会提供防止未来侵略行为的坚定保障。佩泽西奇扬当天在与巴基斯坦总理夏巴兹通电话时还表示，伊朗无意针对地区国家或卷入与地区国家的冲突，伊朗只会根据合法自卫权利打击向伊朗领土发起袭击的基地。佩泽西奇扬说，这是一场强加于伊朗的战争和军事侵略。如果国际社会不关注并解决这场战争背后的主要因素，全球秩序和安全将陷入混乱和不稳定。此外，伊朗军方当天向外界释放了强硬信号。据伊朗法尔斯通讯社11号报道，伊朗武装部队表示，伊朗以往的对等反击已经结束，从现在起，伊朗将实施连环打击策略。任何隶属美国、以色列及其盟友的船只及其运载的石油货品，均被视为伊朗武装力量的合法打击目标。伊朗伊斯兰革命卫队副司令法达维11号表示，在伊朗周边700公里的海域内，目前没有任何一艘美国舰船。美国海军已经逃离该区域，因为美方知晓伊朗已经制定了专门针对并击沉其航母的特别作战计划。另外，法达维还警告美国，必须考虑到陷入一场长期消耗战的可能性。